Now at 6, new court documents are revealing what happened before a Border Patrol agent shot 2 people in southeast Portland during what DHS says was a targeted mission. What we're learning, plus why one of the suspects was denied bail, coming up in a live report. Plus,
this is a failure on the part of the legislature in funding us appropriately.
Portland Public Schools is looking to deal with a $50 million budget shortfall by cutting hundreds of jobs. Which jobs are on the chopping block and how you can weigh in on the cuts ahead. And Oregon is taking over the food scene with a ton of local restaurants and chefs making it to the semifinals of the James Beard Award. We have the details on who's on the list in just a few minutes as your news at Sunrise starts right now. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Thursday. I'm China Green. We have Rod Hill and Chris McGinnis standing by for a look at your weather and traffic.
Hey, we are cold and frosty out there once again. Good morning. We've had a mainly clear night, still that way out there at this hour as we look at the Pioneer Park building down at the square. Not much movement from the flags. Again, the bricks are dry, but they are chilly. The temperature out at PDX is now all the way down to 26. Remember, 2 mornings ago, I think it was, we got down to 25. So we're going to be right in that wheelhouse. Again, not record stuff, but obviously it grabs your attention when you take that first step outdoors. Battlegrounds at 22 and Hillsboro now matching. So those are the coldest locations on this map. And then you go down to the Mid-Valley, 25 Aurora, Estacada. Coldest spot looks to be Dallas at 24. But look at the 20s. This is a very cold, frosty start. To the bus stop we go. There will be early sun. We'll be in the 20s, but we'll be cloudy by noon. We'll stay dry. The clouds will limit the warming. Could only be 38 degrees at noon, and we could be in the low 40s this afternoon. Quite a bit cooler than what we've been seeing, Chris. Back to you.
Yeah, Rod, thanks for that. Took me even longer than usual, actually, to thaw out my car this morning. There was a thick layer of frost out there. All right, let's get you out the door. That's I-5 into Wilsonville. Northbound traffic zipping along just fine, despite the chilly temperatures this morning over the Boone Bridge. Let's take you over to the east side. The quick check in the Banfield here. That's the westbound commute coming in from I-205. That looks good. And we'll fly you quickly over to the west side, Highway 26 near the Sylvan Hill. Again, the drive's getting a little bit busier across town, but so far, no crashes, no unexpected freeway delays. Right now, you can get in from Hazeldale in about 8 minutes on I-5 southbound. China, back to you.
Chris, thank you. The driver shot by Border Patrol agents earlier this month in southeast Portland has been denied bail. On Wednesday, a federal judge ordered 33-year-old Luis Nino Moncada to remain in custody. And newly released documents show what happened from the driver's perspective. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson joins us live from southeast Portland with a breakdown of the case. Corey.
Good morning, China. That's right. Nino Moncada is now charged with aggravated assault of a federal officer and depredation of federal property. Both of those charges he's pleaded not guilty to. Now, federal prosecutors say back on January 8th, while taking his partner to a medical appointment, Nino Moncada weaponized his vehicle during a targeted stop. Officials say he hit an agent with his truck in the parking lot of the clinic and repeatedly rammed an empty Border Patrol vehicle. Now, court documents include photos of the damaged car and what Homeland Security has referred to as a targeted mission. But the documents also show new insight from defense attorneys saying that the government has not shown that Nino Moncada meant to assault an officer versus just trying to escape, and that his only prior criminal charge is a DUI. Now, prosecutors in the case accused Nino Moncada of driving directly at the agent again, saying that's when the agent fired the shots, hitting Nino Moncada and his partner. They drove off and called 911. This is a clip from that call.
Caller saying that he was shot twice by ICE and his wife was shot as well.
Now, prosecutors say Nino Moncada entered the U.S. illegally in 2022 and then was arrested in Colorado the next year. He was then ordered to appear in a federal removal proceeding. They say he failed to show up to that. His criminal trial is set for March, but in the meantime, the Oregon DOJ says that they will launch their own federal investigation into this shooting. China.
Corey, thank you. An internal memo obtained by the Associated Press shows that ICE told agents that they can forcibly enter people's homes without a judge's warrant. The memo authorizes agents to enter homes with a more narrow administrative warrant to arrest someone with a final order of removal. According to a whistleblower complaint, the memo has been used to train new ICE officers deployed to cities and towns carrying out the president's immigration crackdown. A Homeland Security spokesperson says everyone served with a warrant has, quote, full due process and a final order of removal.
Revoke the permit!
A Portland City Council meeting was disrupted by protesters last night, calling on the city to revoke the permit for the ICE facility on the south waterfront. Security was asked to escort this person out, and the meeting was moved online. Mayor Keith Wilson said that while he agrees public safety is undermined by actions of federal agents, the city has to follow a process when it comes to land use approvals and cannot just revoke the ICE permit. Wilson reiterated that he did ask for a pause in all ICE activity in the city until the local Border Patrol shooting could be investigated. Gresham City Council, meantime, has adopted an emergency declaration calling for federal immigration reform. The resolution directs funds to address food insecurity and to provide utility assistance to families. It also calls for a new community resource page on the city's website to help families impacted by President Trump's immigration policies. Counselors are set to receive their first monthly update from new city administrator Raymond Lee, including an update on the arts tax. Just over $8 million are being spread across Portland's 6 school districts and charter schools this school year to pay for elementary art teachers' salaries. This year is noteworthy when it comes to the arts tax. Students who were kindergartners when the money started flowing during the 2013-2014 school year are now seniors in high school.
We're looking at increased class sizes from elementary, middle, and high schools. We're looking at less educators to support our multilingual learners who are the same communities being targeted by ICE and the federal government.
Portland Public Schools is considering reducing some 300 positions in order to close another big budget shortfall. The changes include making enrollment-based reductions, reducing coaches, and combining grade levels. The district says the projected $50 million budget deficit is mainly due to ongoing issues like declining enrollment, rising costs, and the expiration of one-time funding. 2 community meetings are happening tonight at 6 o'clock at Ida B. Wells and Cleveland High School. Oregon is once again in the spotlight when it comes to the top culinary awards in the country. The semifinalists include Le Pigeon for Outstanding Restaurant, Scotch Lodge for Outstanding Bar, Coquine for Wine or Beverage Program. And when it comes to Best Chef in the Northwest and Pacific, 7 Oregon chefs received nominations. You can see there on your screen there. So big congratulations to all of the winners, or nominees, that is. All right, headed over to Rod Hill for a look at your weather.
Well, Le Pigeon, that's been around for a long time now and always like on the top part of the list of best restaurants.
Yeah, head chef Gabriel Rucker.
All right. Satellite radar, we've got a batch of clouds. See the green. Well, keep in mind the radar is hitting that pretty far out, so the radar is picking up water droplets in the top of the clouds. Doesn't mean there's anything that's going to be reaching the ground, but we'll be watching especially the Washington coast today for the chance of maybe some sprinkles. The story for most of us is incoming cloud cover, something we have not seen in a while off of the Pacific, and a cloudy afternoon after a sunny start is what we expect. Winds at Troutdale right now gusting to 31. They haven't really been any higher than this going back the last 12 hours or so, and there's reason to believe that they will actually calm a little bit during the day. So not as windy as what you folks have been dealing with day after day after day after day after day, right? Here's the Oregon Zoo camera. Once again, we are basically fog-free out there, 31 degrees at 600 feet up in the West Hills. Other temperatures, cold frosty start is another big headline for us this morning. 22s in Hillsboro and Battleground. You've got 24 in Dallas, 30 in Silverton. Yeah, everybody's below freezing. 25 in Albany and Salem. And again, the frost is thick. Chris McGinn saying his frost was thicker this morning than it has been the last couple of starts. This afternoon, clouds coming across the coast, the valley. And even if we start to get partial clearing as the temperature inversion breaks out toward the Dalles, there's incoming clouds. So if you start to clear, you won't notice it because the new clouds will be here. Sometimes that's the way it goes, right? Cooler day. Did you notice only 40s at the beach? I've got 44 and maybe not even that warm here in Portland if the clouds are thick this afternoon. We get back to sun tomorrow. We have the cold frosty starts this weekend with dry sunny weather, and I've moved Wednesday's rain chance of next week to Thursday. That's your update.
Thank you, Ron. Washington's governor has requested a federal disaster declaration from FEMA after December's historic flooding. It would mean millions in federal aid to repair nearly 4,000 flood-damaged homes across the state, totaling an estimated $21.3 million in damage. But it's not a guarantee. FEMA denied a similar funding request from the state after the 2024 bomb cyclone.